Welcome to the Twinkle Talks EYFS podcast. Working in the early years is busy, funny, messy and exhausting. Join me, Shána, and the rest of the Twinkle EYFS team as we talk honestly about our experiences as practitioners, teachers and professional nappy changers. Whether you're listening to increase your CPD hours or catching up on our antics whilst driving home from work, Twinkle EYFS will share everything you need to know about all things early years. Hello, wonderful listeners. I'm so excited for today's episode. I'm going to start it off with a shocking statistic. Okay, are you ready for this? How many male practitioners do you think are currently working in the early years in the UK? I'll tell you, it's only 3%. It's a shocking statistic, isn't it? So when I found this out, I thought, right, let's get to the bottom of this and let's interview some male practitioners who are in the field right now. So we've got 5 wonderful practitioners coming to speak to us on today's episode. But before we get there, it's time for another round of Only in the EYFS. So Katie, take it away.
This week in Only in the EYFS. We've received breaking news from Amanda that her whole setting has gone barefoot because she's twisted her ankle and unable to wear one shoe. And now all the children have of course copied. It was clearly a smelly afternoon. Make sure to open those windows. Recent reports from Sally Walker's early years settings have shown that children have been kissing small world frogs multiple times. As it turns out, one child has told them, if you kiss a frog, it turns into a prince. They must be hopping mad. We've received breaking news from a local school that a Year 6 child has been counting loudly to 5 in the dining room, teaching all of their little friends about the 5-second rule. Lucky for him, dining room germs take 5 seconds to infect. That's it for this episode. Tune in next time for more antics in Only in the EYFS.
Interesting stories this week. Thanks, Katie. Okay, amazing listeners. We have just the most amazing guests here today. I have been so excited to share this episode with you. It's been under wraps for quite a while. And we have amazing guest speakers all here to talk about their experiences as male practitioners. And we have got 5 amazing guests. So if we could take it in turns, please introduce yourselves. Why don't we start with Mathew?
Hi everyone, I am Mathew Crouch. I am 30 years old and I am from the Lake District in Cumbria. I am currently an early years lead and I teach a reception and year 1 class.
Amazing. Next, guys, just before we even move on, listeners, there are 4 Matthews here, so please sympathise with me as I try and get everybody in. Okay, Mathew M, Matt M, we're going to call you for this episode. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Mathew Middleton. Or Matthew M, whatever. Edit that out later. I'm 31, which I know I put on the promotional material 32 because I always think a year ahead. And I was thinking I'm 32 for the longest period, so that's that. I live and work in the West Midlands area. I work at a private day nursery, which is open all year long, so I don't get half term off.
Oh, sore spot, because the rest of us are currently in half term right now. Don't mention it, guys. Don't mention it. Matt S, would you like to go next?
Hey, I'm Mathew Stevenson. I'm from the Black Country and I'm a reception teacher. I'm 30 years old.
It makes me laugh because before we started pressing the record button, we were all chilling, chillaxing, relaxing. As soon as I pressed that button, you're all jamming up, guys.
I'm not even 30. I'm 29.
Oh my god!
Sweating.
Okay.
Can I go again?
Of course you can. Absolutely. Go. Do it.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm from the Black Country. I'm a reception teacher and I'm 29 years old. And I've got no sense of rhythm.
Way, that was great. I did say to the guys before we started recording, listeners, that we're going to blow up on social media because of this episode, and I'm betting at least one of us is going to get on Strictly. So hold me to that, guys. Oh, Mathew Crouch just literally just put his hand up. Oh, Mathew has got some confidence. I'm going to beat you to that.
I'm going on Dancing on Ice.
Oh gosh, no way, not a chance. Anyone for I'm a Celeb? Anybody?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd do I'm Celeb.
Oh, right. Okay, you're mad. How about Matt C, would you like to go next?
Oh, here we go. Hi, I'm Mathew Chatburn, or Matt C in this podcast, I guess. I'm 18 years old and I live in the Northwest. I don't currently work because I've only just qualified yesterday, actually, yeah.
Yay, congratulations!
And, thank you very much. And I'm in and out of placement, but currently I am at a primary school where I do go in now and then and just do my volunteer work. And that's about it, yeah.
Nice. Always good experience, isn't it? Always. Welcome to the education sector. We hope you feel welcome.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, Tom, the only not Matt apart from me.
I'm Tom. I'm also from the West Midlands. I've been teaching in schools for 4 years. I've been TA for 3 years. I've been special support assistant for 1 year. And I've just qualified, well, I've just passed my second year of uni working towards my teaching degree.
Amazing. So as you can see, I'm so proud that all of you have been able to come and talk to me today, because you are all in different stages of the early years career. We've got people who are well established, we've got early years leaders, and we've also got people who are already or just graduating and have got new things to bring to the profession. And it's just amazing. Some of you have TA experience, some of you got private nursery in schools. Like, I don't want to brag, but you kind of cover all the bases, which is amazing. So I'm so excited to have you on, because you're going to give our listeners so much insight, and especially into the world of being a male practitioner. This is why we are here today, to get your experience, because as everybody knows, the education system is predominantly female, and we really wanted to raise male voices, because you are so important to not just the early years profession, but education as a whole. So again, thank you so much for coming. And my first question would be, what was your journey like in training to become an early years practitioner? So who would like to kick off? How was your training?
Shall I go first? So I qualified as a TA at 16. I started my first job at 17 as a level 2 teaching assistant, just working part-time, and then I worked my way through up to level 3. Then I did HLTA, did a foundation degree, and then I did a top-up degree onto my foundation degree, and then I did schools direct.
Yeah, so did I.
I'm now a reception teacher.
Amazing. That's quite a lot of education, isn't it, for yourself? You've had to go through quite a lot of training.
Yeah. I didn't have the best time in primary school or secondary school, so I decided to do the work and get the experience whilst training. So I worked all the way through training, so I've had a full permanent job since I've been 16.
Did you enjoy it?
So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and it's given me a wealth of experience across different settings, because I've worked in day nurseries, schools, and after-school clubs.
Those are fun.
They sure are. Especially cooking club with 46.
Oh God, don't. That just, I'm like sweating now that you've said that. Flour everywhere is all I'm thinking.
I'll take the lead next.
Go on.
Because I'd say mine's full of more drama than everyone else's, I'm going to say.
Oh.
So, started my training at 16. Did it for a lovely company, who I'm going to name and shame. Performance Through People Training.
Oh, gossip.
They told me 2 years, get your level 3. So I did my 2 years of sixth form. My training assessor, whose name escapes me now, or I would name her completely. End of the 2 years, she goes, yeah, you qualified your level 3. Give it a month or two, and you'll get all your certificates come through. And that was in like the September, November time. Come January, February, I was like, oh, I'll phone them up, see where my qualification is. Phoned up the company and they went, what qualification? I went, okay, so can I speak to my assessor? And they were like, yeah, she's left the company.
Oh, blimey!
And they went, can we get back to you? I was like, well, I should hope you do. They ended up getting back to me. Yeah, we found all your paperwork and all your coursework. It's no longer worth a level 3 because the criteria have changed. We can get it on a level 2. And I was like, okay, what does that mean for getting my level 3? And they went, we can fast track you to get a level 3. So you'll do your level 2. We'll get you little bits you need to do to get it up to the standard of a level 2 to pass. That'll take a couple of months. Then we'll get you straight on your level 3. Do your level 3 in a year. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. After a year of doing my level 2, they went, oh yeah, here's your level 2. And they also promised me I could do it at the same setting, because I found a lovely setting, Sunny Skies Day Nursery in Sandwell. And they were like, yeah, you can do it at the same setting. After the year, and they went, here's your qualification. You can't do it at the same setting though. You know, you can't do the level 3 at the same setting. And when we inquired why, I was like, because we're not allowed to. And because there was a children's centre next door, their management, can we have him here to do his level 3? No, because it's the same building. And it's like, cool. Had to then move on. Was on Job Seekers. Found a course through the Job Seekers with Charlie Caterpillar's Day Nursery. That's name drop number 2. And they will come back up. Do not worry. Did my level 3. And then I've just gone on working for a couple of nurseries over the years. Took about a year or 2 break in between to work in elder care and children in care. But then now I'm back in good old early years.
Right, so does anyone want to try and beat Matt M's story?
I'll go next. So I started my sixth form journey with maths, further maths, accounting and media. And just, it didn't go so great because I spent too much time in the common room playing Chinese poker.
As you do.
Hadn't revised for my GCSEs, then didn't revise for my first set of AS level exams. So then I had to rethink, stayed on till the end of my AS levels, but dropped out after I'd done my exams. Then got a B, a C, a D, and probably should have just stayed on. Worked full time at Centre Parks, local to me, for a couple of years.
That sounds like the dream.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, a lot of perks. And then decided that I wanted to go and do something and build a career. So I went to the local newspaper and did sort of a journalism work experience, realised it wasn't for me. Everybody had always sort of said to me, you'd be great as a teacher. And I was just like, no, I've got 15 nephews and nieces. I do not need to spend any more time near any children. And then went and did some work experience, really enjoyed it. So I went to the college local to me and did an access course so that I could go to uni. Ended up going to Sheffield Hallam University and studied an early years with QTS degree. Finished in 2016 and graduated. And then I got my NQT position in the May of 2017 to start in the September, and I've been there ever since. I got a 4-month maternity job in reception. At the end of that 4 months, I then moved into year 1 to cover the teacher that had left. Then I went with that class up to year 2. Then I went to year 5. Then I went back to year 1. And then this year I am in reception in year 1, and I've taken on early years lead as well.
Amazing. You've been on quite a journey. Sounds like a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, up and down and back again.
There you go. It always ends in early years though, doesn't it? Don't want to brag, but it is kind of the place
Best
to be.
place to be.
Exactly. Tom or Matt C? Who's going to go? Who's going to do it?
Mine's the most boring one, so I'll let Tom go first if he wants.
I started my journey off, when I left school, I went to college. Originally I wanted to do horticulture. Got to college, changed it, did photography. Dropped out after the first year, got a job in a warehouse, didn't really enjoy it. And then my 18th birthday, I got a phone call from my primary school. They said, we've got a job position, can you come in for an interview? And at the time I was having my first tattoo done. So I literally had to go in for an interview with my arm cling filmed up. Couldn't take my coat off for the whole time. That's where the journey started. So I was there for a year as a special support teaching assistant. Had to leave there after the first year because there was apparently no funding. Yet they replaced me with someone else the following September. So I took a year out, did some childminding from home whilst doing my level 3 TA course through De Montfort College. Completed that within 5 months, started volunteering at a new school. On my last day of volunteering, they offered me a job as a special support assistant. So I did that for a year, then COVID hit. Whilst I was off with COVID, I got offered a job promotion as a level 2 teaching assistant. where I worked across reception and nursery. Then last week, the week before, I got offered another promotion to be a grade 3 key worker in reception.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to circle back. What was the tattoo?
It was a feather on my arm.
Can we see? Can we see? Look at that!
Oh wow, yeah.
So not a small tattoo to cover then for your interview.
No, not exactly.
Amazing.
I've now got 3 tattoos, which are always on show at work, but they're really fine about it, and I've got like 4 or 5 piercings.
Yeah, no, I've got
But, yeah,
tattoos as well, so it's what it is.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. Right,
Exactly.
you're up now, Matt. You can't hold
Here we
this off
go.
any longer. This is your
I'm
turn.
leaving now. I don't really know. I think in year 10, when I was in year 10, we had to do some work experience. We were required to, and I just thought it'd be nice just to go back to my primary school where I grew up. Just why not? And I guess I really enjoyed that. And I was only there for about a week. It wasn't even for long. So just that week changed the entire career path I was going to go for. Because I think in college I was gonna decide to pick photography or something different, completely different. And then I started early years in college last year, 2020. It was kind of awkward. It was a bit of because we had lockdown as well. So I was 1 minute we were in, for months we weren't, and I couldn't do my work experience. I was missing out on that that really well earned work experience that I'd need to proceed with my qualification. And it was only we started in the September, it was only by March the next year April, I managed to do my work experience, which I do enjoy now. Instead of primary school, I went back at now because I enjoyed that much. I thought I'd go straight back. So I did that for a year, got my certificate, and then this year I did my level 3 diploma. Obviously I've achieved that yesterday, and I'm back at the same school again. I did nursery as well. But other than that, I'm enjoying the same placement, hoping to get a job there. And after that, I'm going to be at uni too.
Oh, and clearly they enjoy you.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, well, you've been gone back 3 times. They're like, right, we'll have more of him. That sounds great.
Back and forth.
Oh, do you know what? It's so interesting to hear where we've all come from, because I was expecting at least more than Matt M to come straight from I want to be a teacher straight away, and because that's not how I started either. Don't laugh at me, guys, all right? But I did want to be an actress on the stage.
I can see it.
And I did get there. What do you mean I can see it?
I can see it.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
You've got the theatrics, haven't you?
I'll take it as a compliment. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I got on there once. I was on the West End for a little bit. I was well chuffed. But then I was like, it's a bit of a scary industry to work in, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best looker in the world, so I'm not really going to get that far. Looks do matter when you're on a camera.
Don't be daft.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you.
I've got one question.
Oh, go on.
When you were on the stage, was it The Lion King? Just because you said about your curly hair.
My curly hair that I didn't actually tell anybody.
You said it was like a lion's mane.
Actually, that was our previous chat before we started recording.
Oh, no!
Now you've just literally unveiled my secret to our listeners. Okay, I'm just going to put you on a certain list, Matsy. Oh, no, you're Mathew. Oh. Sorry, Matsy.
Yeah, it was definitely Matsy.
Sorry. Sorry, Matsy. Guys, you're going to have to get used to me confusing everybody because there's too many Mats. Right, okay.
So,
Matthew, you're on my list. Thank you.
If Matthew disappears from the conversation, we know the assassins have been deployed.
Hitman got him.
Well, this is it. If you don't hear from Mathew afterwards, don't come looking for me, is all I'm saying.
If he's not back after half term, it was you.
Okay, serious editing is going to have to go now. But yes, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I wanted to be an actress, and I was like, performing arts school, things like that, and especially when you have to go into university and college, you have to do auditions to Central and Lambda and all the big drama schools. Got in absolutely none of them. Absolutely none of them. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And I was already volunteering at my local primary school as well, the primary school I went to when I was a little girl, because I loved it so much. And primary school was a really special time for me. Secondary school, not so much. But I was like, and my mum worked in the primary school that I grew up in as well. She's the business manager now. Shout out to mum, making it big in the early years world. But yeah, it was just, I remember really one day being
I think it was in the office, like helping mum post letters or something, and just seeing a little line of reception children going down to lunch, and it was just this bing. I want to do that. I want to be with them. And it was just, that was it. And that was amazing. And 10 years later, here I am doing a podcast about early years. But it's just that magic moment I think we've all had, isn't it? Like, oh, actually, this is really lovely. But I think the big difference between perhaps myself and you guys is it was probably a lot more natural, and I probably had a lot more support in going into the early years career. So I kind of wanted to ask, what stigmas and discrimination have you faced, not just in perhaps maybe training and how, and that, but also physically being in the classroom? How has discrimination that you have faced affected your job as well?
I'd say toileting children is one of the main ones. When people find out that there's a male working in early years and they're going to change their children. When I first started, it was a big issue. And parents were going, no, we don't want them to change my child. We want a female member of staff. But I've always been supported by SLT to say, no, they're a male member of staff. They're fully qualified. They're DBS checked and everything like that. So they've got the right to change the child just as much as a female has.
Absolutely. Has anybody else experienced that?
I
have.
Oh gosh. Okay. Share people.
It wasn't quite the same as Matt's, but like this year when I worked in nursery, we did have one child who would quite often have a bit of a bad stomach. So I always got the job of changing him, and the one day it was quite bad. He put his hands in it. It was at the wall. Good job I had an apron on because it went on that. Anyway, the long and short, I sent him home, and then when he got home, Mum said, "Oh, he's absolutely fine. Why is Mr. Noakes trying to send him home? Does he even know what a bad nappy looks like? Does he even know how to change a nappy?"
Ooh.
And that caused quite a bit of uproar within the school. And yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
To be honest, I wasn't really bothered because I said, yeah, I'm not stupid. I know what looks normal, what doesn't. I'm not just going to send him home for the sake of it.
And what about you, Matt S? You were talking about age there. What do you think that's got to do with it?
Because, like, listening to people's story, we all started quite young into the profession, and people look at us and go, well, why are males this young in early years? They haven't changed nappies, they haven't done this, they haven't done that. But to be fair, we've done the training the same as everyone else, so we're as qualified as them, so why shouldn't we be able to do stuff? And like, I started in early years quite young, so it was that I felt as well, like there was a lot of age bias from the parents going, well, I've got kids older than him.
I think it's interesting. I've not personally, from my setting, I've been there, it'll be 5 years in September, and obviously working in early years, I've not experienced or have been part of any sort of judgment, stereotypes or anything like that I'm aware of. I think underlying sort of, there's always those things, and I think it was Tom had mentioned on his Instagram actually that he'd been on some training and he was one of the only few males there. And it was very similar when I was actually studying. It wasn't sort of an issue, but when I was doing my degree, out of the two sort of groups of students that there was about 50, there was about 25 in each. And across the 50, I think there was 3 or 4 males and the rest were all females. And it's just those sort of, why is that? Why is it that males are not coming forward to work in early years? And then you listen to stories like Matt S and Tom's, and why would you put yourself in that position if that's what's going to happen?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, I've worked at a setting where their entire policy was that men do not change nappies.
Oh, so it was actually in their policy?
Yeah, basically, first day I started, there was another young gentleman who was doing training as well. And the guys on the shop floor and telling us all this, went, yeah, you will not be changing nappies.
And what was their justification?
I don't recall correctly. I believe it was just to basically limit any allegations or complaints. but I feel like it was more the latter rather than the former.
Wow. And it's the fact that your setting didn't even support you either. It was even from the off, it was no, strictly no males and having a discrimination against you in policy. Did anybody ever challenge that?
Well, as far as I'm aware, no. Because when I started, there was a gentleman who was working there before. Then when I started, there was an older gentleman who started at the same time. So there's 3 gentlemen at the setting. None of us could change nappies. The one day, one of the female staff asked me, I was like, Matt, would you ever challenge that? I was like, well, no, because in my eyes, I'm only doing my training. I might not be here after a year. I don't see the need to kick up a big fuss and potentially end my training early and end up not getting my level 3 over something as trivial as that. Which, younger me, it was in my head, I was just, get my qualification done so you can carry on doing what you want to do. I don't think anyone ever challenged it because it was a case of being that one to kick up the fuss, if that makes sense.
It's interesting that you say as well that you'd rather not, in your words, kick up a fuss because you didn't want to risk losing your qualification. And it's quite sad, isn't it, that actually an organisation can have that much power over something that you think, hang on a minute, I can't challenge this, even though it's fundamentally wrong and it's discriminatory. I have too much to lose and they have the power to even stop my education journey anyway, even though what they are doing is wrong and you are just being you and you have the training. And that's actually quite shocking to hear in the education sector. And that's, I think, a really important point that you've made that maybe people aren't aware of, that there even may be things, that are still not equal for males in the education sector, but it's really hard to challenge because you still don't have that power to do so, not on your own anyway. But you never know, guys. Perhaps us being together and talking about it might start a revolution. You don't know. Exactly. And also, we can't talk for all settings, but I'm hoping that's the minority for a lot of male practitioners, and that it's not in their policies. That doesn't seem right to me. Matt C, you've only just come out of training. So did you have any weird kind of questions or looks or comments because you were a male practitioner?
I wouldn't really say so, not very direct towards me. Like you said, I've only just started, but it's when I have worked in, say, a nursery setting, it wasn't a direct like discrimination or anything like that. It was kind of some of the staff would kind of make like a silly joke about, obviously, I'm a male and they be careful what you're doing, you know what I mean? Hinting the silly things, which I guess, are you having a job? It's like, you know what I mean? It's was there any need? And you know what they're hinting, you know what they're trying to say. But other than that, no. But like at my college course, I'm the only male out of about 60 or 70 of us. There's no one else in my entire year group. I'm the only guy.
Wow.
So that felt a bit weird. So I've had no one to say relate to for the past 2 years or have that kind of conversation with. But to be honest, I think I'm kind of glad I had a full class of females. It was better. You take influence off them more. I think they seem to be the really good practitioners, and the way they influence me when the way they're talking, interacting, I take influence off of them because I think they are the brill. So I wasn't too fussed about being the only guy.
Yeah.
And hey, lots of girls. So.
Oh, here it comes. There's a little ulterior motive going on there. I see what you're doing there. But it's kind of like we've talked a lot about in terms of how it's affected, your experience physically, but what about mentally? Have you noticed a difference, or kind of your thought patterns, or even how you behave? Has that had an impact?
I'd say so, yeah. I guess yes. Like when I'm walking around, I don't know. It seems to be when I think of what other guys might think. Say like with the parents, if fathers are coming, they might not be giving me maybe a bit of a dirty look, but I kind of feel like, what do they think? Are they uncomfortable with it themselves because I'm maybe the only guy there, there's a full team of women? Or it's like when I tell my friends what I'm doing, I kind of feel a bit uncomfortable if I'm talking to a male friend. I do early years because I know what they're going to probably maybe jump to and maybe take the mick out of. Some of them will respect and they don't mind, but you'll always get those ones where they'll make a joke about it and just kind of make you feel a bit down about yourself. And it's like in college, I remember last year, we were on the topic of nappy change that we were on earlier on. One of the people there was saying how, they wouldn't mind, say, me changing their child's if they had a child in the future. But if it was any other man
Wow.
at all, no, they wouldn't allow that. Which I thought that kind of made me feel a bit. Would people think that of me in a sense if I'm going to go ahead and work?
Yeah.
Which clearly in some people's cases it does happen. So it's just bound to happen, isn't it? Eventually, just waiting now.
But then, on the other hand, like you saying you was the only male in your college course, that will give you an advantage in the job industry because to get a male in EYFS is quite hard, and some like they can't advertise for males in EYFS. But I think the job market out there is looking to get more males into EYFS
I
now
agree,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, you got a USP, guys. USP, look at that. Just for being you. How cool is that? Because it's a shocking statistic. I know I've told you guys before, I've told our listeners, only 3% of EYFS practitioners are male. And I just find that really shocking, which is why I got you guys together and to be like, hang on a minute. What difficulties are you facing? What are the barriers? And also, what is putting off other males joining in profession? Because we need more representation, not just because you're guys, but we need a reflection of the society in every single classroom, and that includes males. And we have to beat those stereotypes, don't we? And I'm going to move on to that one because we want to beat stereotypes, not just for men, but for women as well. There is this massive stereotype for women that, they're great in education because we're natural caregivers, all of this rubbish. Do you know what I mean? And just all of this stuff. But I have also experienced when people talk about male practitioners and things that really shock me that I didn't think people would say nowadays, but they do. Things like, it's really good to have a male practitioner in the classroom because they get it. They can have a kickabout with the lads. And my eyes just roll. I've just seen all of your eyes roll. And that's what it makes my heart sink, because I'm like, these people who are making these comments are trying to be supportive of male practitioners. Their heart is in the right place, but there is still very clearly underlying stereotypes and stigmas that you still have to battle. Have any of you had experience of those kind of stereotypes?
I kind of have. I wouldn't say it was much of a battle, but like quite a few years we've had single parents come in, and like they've actually said, you do an absolutely amazing job. My son so he looks up to you like a dad. And to me it's like, I wouldn't say it's a stereotype, but it's almost like a compliment to know that I've had that influence. But then there is like the stereotype is, he's a man, he'll do this with the kids, he'll do this with the boys, like, we'll do this with the girls. But I think like there shouldn't be that, like, I'll go and play with the girls will go and play with me, I'll play with the boys.
Exactly.
It's they're kids at the end of the day, they don't get it. It's all learnt behaviour. Right.
And that's a really good point I think you've made, especially with the whole single parent situation. It's kind of like there is still this stereotype, isn't there, that, I don't know, perhaps children, more specifically boys, I've found from single parent families, there were people who make comments like, it's really good you need a male practitioner because they have an absent father. And that's a really kind of difficult stereotype to fight, because a single parent family, there is this assumption that it's always a single mum. And if there is a single mum, it's because the dad is absent and they're not doing their job. And actually, that's not true at all. That is another stereotype, that actually perhaps the relationship is broken down and it's mutual. Perhaps, it's actually the mum that's causing the problems, but it's never assumed. It's always assumed it's the dad's fault. And for some reason, you guys are supposed to be there to fill that gap. And that's kind of not okay. And, I don't feel like I've had that, especially as a female practitioner. Yes, like you, Tom, I've had they look up to you like a mum, which I think is a little bit different. I think it's a nice role model. And that, like you say, Tom, that is a really lovely compliment. But the expectation that you are supposed to be there to fill a gap for someone, for another male, a male's defaults, another male's failures, assumed failures, I think is actually quite damaging. And like you say, it's learned behavior. It's not something that children actually really think about. It's actually what the parents or other people or adults have put upon you, which is kind of really upsetting. So my next kind of question is, I know that you guys are all on social media. And don't worry, we will plug all of your social medias at the end, don't you worry. But how has that kind of had an impact on not just your representation, but your community? Like you said, Matt C, that, you kind of feel isolated and you can't really talk to other male practitioners, at least on your course. So how has the social media, how has that impacted?
I'd like to field this one because I don't think it's just social media. I think it's media in general.
Okay.
Because obviously when I was doing my training, I was about 20 and there was a big news story covered in the media, all over the news, everywhere, of a gentleman who was abusing children in his care at a nursery in Birmingham, which, because I live in Walsall, it's only an hour away, if that, really. So like, it's a stone's throw away, really. And obviously, me being a male practitioner in his 20s, same age as this guy, and he's been found abusing children's care because, well, I don't know the reasons, but I know his mother was the manager. So he had that access through that and he's doing his training, all this, that, and the other. I had a colleague approach me and goes, "How do you feel about this, Matt?" And I went, "I don't like the guy." I was like, purely for a professional and personal level, I don't like him straight away because he's making my job a million times harder. Because then the first thing that comes up into anyone's mind when they hear male and nursery worker is that guy. And we've actually had it brought up on safeguarding training. I really like this as well because the person conducting the safeguarding training handed everyone a piece of paper and it had on it photos of, I think it was 6 women, and they went, "Can you tell me who those are?" And everyone went, "No, don't have a clue of who they are." Post gave him another piece of paper with men on. "Do you know who those are?" Went, "Yeah, he's the one who's doing that nursery and he abused them kids out. He was the ringleader of this ring that woman was part of."
Yeah.
Who was taking photos of children in the care. But the person leading the course went, "Yeah, those women I just showed you, they were all abusers." But I find it very interesting that you only know the males. And I think that's an inherent problem with media because the media as a whole, as mass multimedia, they find it very easy to play into stereotypes. And if they can find an easy target, they will. And not saying these males who have been abusing children in their care aren't actually doing this. I feel like they're brought more into the limelight and they're focused more than the females who are abusers.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Because there are female abusers, but like you say, the power of media, it actually means we don't actually get to hear about that as often. Even media is feeding that stereotype. And like you say, it has a massive impact on your job. It has a massive impact on how people look at you and how people perceive you. And that's just, well, it's not okay, is it? It's just not okay. Matt C, what were you going to say?
I'm about to say I couldn't really think of anything about the social media side, but I guess one thing came to mind. Again, it's on the topic of friends again. I'd suggest with social media again. Say when I've been with family members and whatnot, maybe I might have got a nice photo with younger cousins, nephews, and whatnot. Like I know they're joking, but they would make maybe quite a discriminative or rude comment just because they think it's funny, and they put it in the comments. I'm like, people, I've got friends, family, this, and you're making that comment. People see those things. I feel disgusting why you've said that. It kind of puts you off. I've had my own family members do that before.
Oh wow!
Being quite discriminative. No one in my household, somewhere else.
Good.
Yeah. So it's a weird one. Social media. You can't really get around it. It can be positives and negatives.
Well, I was going to say, have you guys ever actually had any positive outlooks? Has it connected you with other practitioners?
I think through Instagram, it's connected me with a lot of different practitioners, both male and female. But there's a lot that we can share ideas, get ideas for continuous provision from, planning ideas, and like bringing us here today.
Yeah, no, you're so right.
It's brought us together today through social media, and then like Mathew's and resin business, we've ordered from him.
So have we.
And that's done through our numbers. Like I know Tom through social media because he went through Cozy. Yeah, I think social media has had a good impact and it's helped me improve my performance.
Yeah, Yeah, that's good. And it also can't, I don't want to say this is really cheesy, but it puts you on the map. It's like, yes, hello,
Yeah.
there are male practitioners out there, and look at the amazing setups that we do. Like I don't want to say that I stalk you guys on your Instagrams, but like you just have amazing pictures, amazing setups, and it's just so nice to see a variety of different practitioners, whether you're male, female, come from different backgrounds, it doesn't matter. It's just nice to see that there is, you know, a variety of different experiences and things out there.
I think it's had quite a good impact actually. Like I set mine up at the start of my first year doing uni, which is when like my whole school changed its environment and like the way we teach now. We like completely redid all the environment, changed everything, and that's when I started logging it, just taking pictures, uploading, and then people were sharing. Oh look, have you seen Mr. Noakes' Instagram? Oh, my children go here, have a look, this is where their classroom is. And it just seems to get bigger and bigger. And then like recently, when I'd go and let the parents in at the end of the day, I would get comments saying, oh my god, I love your Instagram page, it's so nice to see what the children are up to during the day. And yeah, I think it is just a nice way to show off who I am, what I do, and the passion for it.
Yeah, exactly, and be proud of it. And there's something really unique that you do, Tom, that the others don't. You have your own YouTube channel and you read stories. So it's not the fact that like social media has an impact on like your profession or, like you say, connecting with the parents as well, but you get to connect with the children, which I think is wonderful. How's that been?
It's really good, yeah. I think I set it up during one of the lockdowns, and then it was for those children who I thought that don't get read to at night, who probably do just get given an iPad to be quiet. So I thought, you know what, at least there is something there then that they are getting to listen to. And then had other teachers from Instagram saying, oh, they're brilliant, we play these in the classroom, you know. And I thought, you know, I hope this actually goes somewhere. But then obviously went back to work, got back to uni, and it kind of just faded out. But lately I've been asked by the company Cozy if I'll start creating videos for them.
That's amazing.
So I've started doing product reviews for them, which will hopefully go on the account soon as well.
There you go. Look, so you got another job out of it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll just jump in on that one if that's all right.
Oh, no, please do.
I think it's interesting listening to both sides. I have found it to be quite a double-edged sword at times. Like Matt said, you get so many great ideas. You can find things, you find products, you find companies. You get so many different things. When it was lockdown, post-lockdown, I was back at work and we were running a play group and a parent had come and was like, I know you. And I was like, oh, nice to see you. I don't know you. But they were just bringing their child to playgroup, and at the end they said, I used your phonics during home learning with one of my older children. And it was really nice to see the benefit. And then sort of like Matt as well said, like being picked up for things like this. I was chosen for an interview with a very well-known education company, and it was posted, and that double-edged sword came back because I was narcissistic. I was all these insults from teachers on Facebook who are supposed to be teaching their children and their classes and things to be kind, to be nice to other people. And that was kind of the way that it went from that. And it was literally just about the benefits of social media and having an account on Instagram, and there was YouTubers and things like that. And it really can go one of two ways. And it's just really interesting. But I think that there's sort of, with males versus females in general with a teacher, I always think there's that representation of, female teachers are compared to Miss Honey. And, you're lovely, you're this, you're that. Yep. But who's the male representative of that, or the male version of that? There isn't one. So actually, maybe we need to make one. We need to build towards it.
Well, yeah, but this is it. I would also like to challenge Miss Honey. I mean, I love her, but I am definitely not a Miss Honey. I will go out with the kids. I will get dirty. I will play whatever game they want to do, roll around the glass. Like, I love those things. And, you know, that doesn't mean that I am not caring or nurturing or I can't do other things, you know, and that's exactly the same for you guys that, you can play Raffle Temple. Actually, I know some male practitioners that I hate going outside. They'd much rather sit and do some painting with the kids. I'm like, great, you do that because I hate painting. You go and do that. Yes, great. And like you say, it's, you know, those stereotypes that we still have to battle. And like you say, there's such a lack of male practitioners. You don't even have a stereotype to even go off of. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But also, it might be helpful in a way. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that's a really interesting point.
It's like we always get asked to carry the heavy stuff.
Oh,
like,
yes.
The amount of times people have walked into my class, oh, can you just come and carry this for us? Can you just come and do this?
Oh, dear.
Or like, because if you're the only male there, oh, you're going on this trip. Whereas it's like, well, I've got a class to teach.
Yeah. And actually, hang on, I might have a back injury, but you haven't asked me that because I'm a man.
Yeah,
totally get that.
Right, I just want to say a little bit here.
Yeah, please.
In terms of, how you mentioned, Shána, about how you like to go outside and play and all this. There's been times when I've been in settings and I've been the only member of staff outside because it's been raining or it's been snowing, and I've gone, well, I think on the one day it started to rain, so I've quickly asked my boss, have we got any pair of wellies? Why? I was like, because I want to go outside with the children. They deserve to go outside and play. But I don't want to have to come back in with soaking wet feet. Have we got some wellies? Quickly got a pair, and they were like a spare pair. They were both left feet, so that was fun. So then every day then, coming out, I had wellies literally right by the door, and it's like, come on, everyone, outside. And they're like, oh, but it's raining. It's like, doesn't matter. Play happens at any time. That they should be going outside in all weathers. That's what we tell the parents every day.
Right, exactly. And I'm gonna have to tell you guys as well now, because this is I divulged this before we started press record, but I'm gonna have to tell the listeners now. I love going outside when it rains because I am a very keen gardener. I was telling the lads before what is in my garden, and I'm gonna tell you lot as well. Got loads of fruit, I've got veg and things like that. And rain is great for me. As soon as it starts raining, I'm like, children, let's go. But because I'm a female practitioner, that probably wouldn't, be the assumption of what I would do. And I'm like, no, let's get out in the rain. And like you say, Matt, we need to go out in all weathers. Peppa Pig, muddy puddles is all I'm saying. I'm just going to drop that.
Don't mention Peppa Pig. PTSD from Peppa Pig.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
That's definitely something in my setting that we've sort of worked towards, particularly this year with me being sort of the lead, of just encouraging. So I am the male, there is an apprentice that's female, there's a HLTA that's female, there's another HLTA. They're all female, but actually they all have the wellies. They all have the waterproofs. They all have the thick waterproof jackets because they see the benefits. And it's kind of like Mathew Middleton was saying, male or female, those children do not care. They just want you to get them outside and enjoy that time in the rain, in the snow, in the sun. And I think it's male or female, you just have to be prepared. It doesn't matter.
If you haven't got spare clothes in your car, are you really an early years teacher? just gonna put that there. Do you know what I mean? Because there are only 3% of early years practitioners that are male right now, we need to change this, guys. And I want you guys to be the voice of change. What advice would you give to perhaps budding male EYFS practitioners? What advice would you give?
Grow a thick skin.
That kind of makes me sad as well as like empowering. Makes me like,
It's a weird thing because I have a group of friends that I hang out with. A few of them are in care with children in care. One of them was a former nursery practitioner. We all have the jokes and we all make the jokes. Constantly bantering with each other to the levels that if he was in the workplace, it'd be a HR writer. But it's a case of I can get to that. And because I've had family members make horrible comments about my choice of work, I've just gone, I don't care. It's not for you, it's for me. So I'd say for anyone who is wanting to get into childcare, if you're doing it for you, don't care what anyone else says. You are the best one for your role because it's you. Because like I said, granted, men are good for playing football and all this. But sometimes it takes a man's eye to come up with something that a woman wouldn't think of. No offence.
That's why we're all different.
I've come up with activities where I've gone, we've got these like little hammer, like little mallet, seen some golf tees in the corner of the room, don't know why they were there. And a melon went, come on kids, we're going to go hammering. And the girls were like, oh, I wouldn't have thought that. Have you risk assessed that? Yeah. I'm making sure they're not hitting their own fingers. That's why I'm holding the golf tee. Hit my hand, it's fine. But like, it's a case of sometimes it takes a man to see what a woman can't. And you're going to hear it no matter what, because you could be in a really nurturing environment. Like in a minute, I'm in a setting that is really supportive of me. It's the banter. You're going to get it. You're going to hear it. It's how you take that. Like I constantly get at my current work, well, we know you're a man, Matt. You can't multitask. Now, yeah, it's because I've got to focus at one thing at a time because, I do it well the first time.
Oh. Oh, okay. I feel like that's a very sassy comment.
I say that as a bit of a banter, and that's what I think any man who gets into this line of work needs to get as well. Is you got to be able to take it and then flip it back, take it on the head, take it as it is, and then go, okay, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do.
Well, it sounds like you can clearly give it back, sir. Clearly give it back.
I think just go with it. If it's what you want, don't let anyone else, put you off just because it's not seen as what men do. It's not a man's job. It's why shouldn't it be? Why shouldn't you do something that you do enjoy, you do love? Because for me, when I do go to work, it doesn't feel like work because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Embrace everything about it. And I often, whether it's male, female, head teachers, I don't know how you work down there. Some people have that view about year 6, about Key Stage 2, about secondary. Personally, I don't think I could ever step foot to teach in a secondary school, but just embrace it, give it a go. And I think the younger children the more susceptible they are to whatever you're telling them, whatever you're sort of putting in front of them. They believe there's a dinosaur on the playground. They believe that somebody's been in and those footprints on the floor are from the police. And they believe that doing this and doing that it's real. And I think you don't get that. You lose that, unfortunately, as you go further up the schooling system. And I think it is just about embracing it, giving it a go. You will not know until you try it, but once you've tried it, you will not want to leave.
Who's next? More inspirational quotes.
I'd say there's no such thing as a silly question. Ask members of the team, ask your college tutor, or ask your EYFS lead to explain anything that you don't understand if you're not sure about. Developing a clear idea of your pedagogy will help you develop as a practitioner and become more confident. Don't let people put you down. Go for jobs. Even if there's no other males in the setting, go for those jobs and let that inspire you. And if you've taken anything from today, don't let comments put you down. If you've got a passion for early years, go for it and do what you love. Don't let people put you down. It's about you creating your own vision and progressing for your career.
Preach. Amen. We just did that on a poster somewhere,
and
guys.
I think it's...
Matt C., give me some.
Sorry, just jumping in there. I think it's even if you don't have the passion for early years, that might be because it's not on your radar. And you need to put it on your radar and try it and get the experience.
Absolutely.
And there's lots of different ways you can connect. Like look at Instagram, look at Facebook, look at the different teachers, visit EYFS settings. There's wider than the EYFS, so it's not just teachers. There's teaching assistants, nursery nurses. There's teachers that work in hospitals. There's lots of different male jobs that you can do in EYFS. It's not just teaching, and I think that's shown here today. Like there's people that have gone into teaching assistants, and do what you love and do it for the love of doing it.
My turn. I'd say there's no point lying. There is always going to be negatives in any workplace. But if it's something you aspire to be, you shouldn't allow people's thoughts, opinions and views to block that pathway that you want to follow. It is truly amazing. I think people will enjoy it. You shouldn't limit yourself due to other people. I think you should just go for it.
I love it. Okay, this is a bit of an ad-lib here, guys, but I just really want to end on a high. You guys are so inspiring. Tell me your favourite thing about being a male EYFS practitioner.
Creating an early years environment based on strong relationships and well-being, making sure it's full of curiosity and inspiring the children.
I think it's my favourite thing is that I just have a different perspective to pretty much everyone else in school. We've got like over 120 staff, and I think there's 7 males, and only 2 of us are teaching staff. So it's kind of like, I see things differently, and then all the rest of like the women are like, oh, actually, I like that idea. Oh, that's brilliant. And I think, it's just being able to think differently and do things differently, get a different connection with the children as well. Then
my favourite thing is literally just getting to spend time with children. Sorry, my I'll just go on. Mine is the playing.
That is staying in. I'm having that. If you don't mind, Matthew.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
But this is exactly the thing. Obviously, working with the 5 and unders. Moments like that makes it the best thing about it, because it's just brilliant. And plus,
It's
like
always the kids, isn't
I've
it?
said, like I am the one person who will go, oh, I'm going to go do this activity. Like, for example, I think when it was Mother's Day, we was on about having a Mother's Tea party and having nail painting. I went, so I'm doing nail painting then, girls, yeah? And the girls looked at me like, you can paint nails, Matt? I was like, well, are you thinking I can't paint nails? And they kind of go, well, knowing you, Matt, you probably could paint nails really well. I can't at all. But I'd have a darn good go. That's basically just me.
Being present with the children. We had that dreaded O visit at the start of spring one. So, and I think since then there was just almost like a dynamic shift, and you weren't constantly in that pressure zone and that cooker of, we've got to make sure we're doing this and we've got to make sure this and that has to be observed and that has to be on there, and just being able to immerse in what the children are doing. And we, like, whether it's there's aliens in the yurt, well, let's go and find them. Let's invite them into the classroom. There is plants to plant. There is also just being fully present with the children and being able to sit down and engage in their world, because it's a lot more fun than ours.
It is indeed. Yeah, yeah.
I'd say it's just the pure happiness you get out of it. You walk into the classroom, and it's always positive thoughts and everything that's happening. The children are obviously very open-minded. They'll let you know and say whatever they want, which I find great. Though there's proper amusement out of it. I think it's just a brilliant environment to be in. Really lifts your spirits.
I agree. I concur to all of the above. Thank you. So, what we do for all of our guests at the end is we play a little game just to get to know you guys a bit more, okay? It's called Teacher Would You Rather. Are you prepared, gentlemen? Because there are some hard-hitting questions.
I am, yeah.
All right, okay, first one. Are you ready for this? All right. Would you rather tea or coffee?
Tea.
Coffee.
Gotta have a cup of tea.
Oh, we're split.
Neither.
Neither? Oh, elaborate, please, sir.
Hot drinks are a no.
Tea is life. Why?
No. And now that I've turned 30, I will ask my staff like that I work with, my colleagues, they'll come in and they'll say, oh, do you want a drink? I'll be like, yeah, I'll have a tea. And it's still there at the end of the day. It just does not get drunk. It's not for me.
See, your staff are going to listen to this and be like, oh, okay. And they're just going to stop asking you now.
They've worked it out already, but they still ask, because otherwise I'm just like, where's mine? Don't leave me out.
FOMO, hot drink FOMO. That's weird. Okay. Round 2 of Teacher Would You Rather. Would you rather teach on a rainy day or a snow day?
Oh, snow day.
Snow day.
Oh, rain.
Right? Guys, it's a rain day. No, snow, no thank you. Come on.
Rainy day, because first thing I do, as soon as I get it in the morning, bottle of paint, bottle of bubble bath, chuck it straight in. And then the children come out and it's red, blue bubbles everywhere. Who doesn't think that sounds like a good time?
Does sound rather good.
When the nurse children come in and they've never seen snow before, and it starts snowing, and then you're up the windows and you can make snowmen or go outside and show them how to make snow angels.
Yeah, that's great. But like 10 minutes later, it turns to sludge, guys, and the mud is there. I'm not down. I'm not down.
But it's part of being in the learning experience at that time. Don't worry about 10 minutes later.
It might be for you. It might be for you, Matt S, but for me, certainly not. I mean, how long is it? 19 degrees outside, and I've got a blanket. All right, it's not happening. I don't like the cold. I don't like being cold. The end.
During lockdown, I was given my own class with another TA, and we had really bad snow.
Oh.
So we thought, you know what, scrap the phonics, scrap the maths. I took my sledges in from home, and we took the kids over the field on the sledges.
Oh.
And I think they got more out of that than sitting down in the classroom trying to
100%.
concentrate on, phonics.
I think I'd like to join it. Okay, I'm not a big fan of snow, but I think I'd join that one. That sounds great fun.
See, I have to think technically. Is it a snow day to the point of snow day, school is closed? Because then I'm choosing a snow day.
That is true.
Or is it a rainy day because nobody just wants to be in the rain relay for a long time, do they?
I stand corrected. I think I love it. But I make your point. But the thing is, I think because of COVID and this online virtual learning thing now, is there such thing as an actual snow day anymore, guys? I don't think there is. I think that's like in the past now.
Shh, that's not
That's
going on
really
anymore.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'll cut that out. All right. Round 3, third and final round of Teacher Would You Rather. Would you rather never have to tidy the creative area ever again, or never have to sweep up the sand area?
Never have to sweep up the sand.
Probably never tidy the
creative
area.
Creative area, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, sand's nothing.
The sand's easy to sweep up.
Oh, it hurts my back. I can't be bothered bending down.
Same.
The children do it.
Oh.
Give the children a dustpan and brush and they're away. They've got an authority complex at that point. They're like, I've got the dustpan and brush. Get out my way.
Yeah, mine would as well.
Mine will just fight each other. We'll have Star Wars in the classroom.
Oh, that's amazing. And your thing is with creative area as well, dry glue, PVA glue on the table. No, bane of my life. I think I'm split on this one.
Yeah, but peeling it off and getting that texture.
Oh, you're one of those, are you? Do you peel your skin? You're one of those, aren't you? You used to dip it in your hand when you were actually in school and then just peel it off.
You just have to make a really good friends with the cleaning staff.
Yes.
Oh, you must tell me your secrets.
I have a great relationship with mine because there is glitter everywhere, every day. So they're like, oh, it's tidy today. And I'm like,
The cleaners will ask us to leave the glue so they can peel it off because they like the peeling. And then they get the satisfaction.
Okay, those are some interesting cleaners. I really want to meet them. They sound cool.
We are the cleaners at
Well,
my
this is
setting. We are the ones who clean. So it's like,
There's your next
doesn't bother us.
podcast. Cleaners versions of EYFS.
Yeah, we're just going to give a whole episode to say sorry to all the cleaners in EYFS for the absolute state that they have to do at the end of the day. I like that idea. Well, thanks for playing our game of Teacher Would You Rather. I can safely say we've learned quite a lot about you. Things are very interesting now. I feel like I know you all in a very deep, kind of intimate way that I'm not sure I'm happy with, but it's done now. To end our amazing podcast and just to celebrate you guys and just to thank you for so much for coming on and being really honest about your experiences and sharing, please tell us where we can follow you, because if you haven't already, guys, they're on Instagram, Facebook. Some of us are even on YouTube. Tom reads these really cute stories on YouTube. You have to go and check them out. So please plug your social media handles. Where can we see you in action?
My platforms to find everything I do is at Mr. Noakes _teaching journey, and I'll be on Instagram and YouTube.
We'll be checking out those stories that you read. They're amazing, Tom. Who's next?
I'll go next. I am on Instagram, Twitter and TikTok at Mr. _C _classroom, and I'm on Facebook as well, and it's just at Mr. C Classroom.
And can you please tell us about your resin? Because that's amazing also.
Of course. I have resin products, key rings, numbers, alphabets. Yeah, you can find them on there.
There you go. And please get them. They're amazing.
Thanks.
I'm on Instagram with EYFS _Mr. S.
The tension is killing me,
I'll go
guys.
next.
Okay, thank God.
I'm on Instagram as I've got MattChat004 and I've got Mr. Chatburn _EYFS.
See, now, I'm really easy because every single social media platform I'm on, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Xbox, PS Plus, everything, it's just the Mafasp. So it's capital T-H-E, capital T-H-E, capital M-F-A-S-P.
Okay, so good thing I'm writing them down in the description. I'll make sure I write all these down so people can just click. I'll make sure. No one's missing out on any of you guys, don't you worry.
Could I do a little plug for something else?
Oh, hello. Depends. See if it makes the edit. Try.
Well, it's my wife's crochet shop.
Oh! Okay, you can totally plug that. Tell me more.
It's Midwinter Witch Crochet on Instagram, Facebook and Etsy. She makes loads of really good stuff. Not just because it's my wife. And she is sat in the room next to me and has things at her disposal to throw at me.
Like a dagger, if you don't mention her, is that what's there?
No, there may be scissors though.
I understand. Okay, he's in a very tricky position.
No, it's just because currently she's working on a tea cozy for my work, because I've asked her for a tea cozy for the Jubilee.
Oh, that's
And I've
adorable.
gone, yeah, she can totally do that. And now she's stressing because she's got like 4 days to do it.
Oh, when you do it, can you please take a picture?
Oh yeah, so, of course. I mean, she makes really good
Amazing.
stuff, and she takes commissions and stuff.
Amazing. Anyone else got anything they want to plug? Any side businesses, side hustles?
I also make resin creations.
Shut
So,
up.
Yeah.
Oh, you got competition.
Got a bit of competition.
Oh, that's jokes. Brilliant. Guys, it's been so fun. Thank you so much for joining me. And I know our listeners are really going to benefit, whether they're male or female. It doesn't matter, does it? Or anything in between, non-binary. You are just people in the industry that are sharing your experiences. And it's really important to give your voice a platform because, as we said, that rather shocking statistic from before, only 3% of EYFS practitioners at the moment are male. And hopefully after this episode, that percentage might go up.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Exactly. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll speak to you soon.
See you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
So there you have it. That is the end of our episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun recording with them. And I hope it sparks the conversation and also sparks some action for us to look at our settings and think about how we can support our current male practitioners, if we have any, or how we can invite more. Early years is all about inclusion and diversity, isn't it? And it doesn't just stop there. How are we creating a welcoming environment for non-binary, transgender, a variety of ethnic diverse backgrounds and experiences? So I look forward to carrying on this conversation in further episodes. But for now, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed what you've listened to today, please make sure that you give us a rating. Don't forget to press the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss on the next episode, and share it with your friends. We have been so overwhelmed with the reaction that the podcast has got so far. It's been so successful, so that's down to you. So thank you so much for listening, and until next time, I'll see you around. So that's it from today's episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you really enjoyed it. If you would like to get involved or would like to know more, come and find us on our social media sites. We have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok account. All of the details will be in the description. And whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day today.